Hi, I'm Andi. I'm going to show you some balance exercises from the floor. This will allow us to really focus on our core strength to improve our overall balance and stability. My recommendation is that you would practice the exercises with me until you feel comfortable and then progress to doing one set of 8 repetitions for each of the exercises. Let's begin our first exercise in bridge. So just lay down on your mat. Bend your knees, your feet are flat on the floor, arms are down by your sides, and as much as you can, try to keep your focus towards the ceiling. Let's begin by contracting the muscles in our pelvic floor and then release. Try to focus on not moving through your spine, not moving through your hip. Take a nice deep breath, inhale, contract the muscles in your pelvic floor. See if you can hold that for 3 seconds. Exhale and release. We'll do that again. Inhale, keep your breath moving, hold the contraction in your pelvic floor muscles, keep breathing, exhale and release. To progress this movement, we'll contract the muscles in our pelvic floor, press your weight into the bottoms of your feet, curl your tailbone under, your low back might press into the mat as you lift your hips up. Stop when your weight is in your shoulder blades. Be careful that you're not pressing too much weight into the back of your neck or your head. Again, try to keep most of your focus towards the ceiling. Let's take another breath here, and on the exhale, we'll roll down, nice through our spine, through our low back. Just find a nice, neutral, lengthened spine. Inhale, contract the muscles in your pelvic floor. Take your time, roll up. Lift your hips, pressing your hip bones towards the ceiling. Take another deep breath, exhale, and roll down. Very nice. To progress this exercise, you can lengthen one leg out. Try to have your knees so that they're parallel to one another. It certainly would be okay if you had your legs straight up to the ceiling if that's better for you to start, and over time, knees together. If you squeeze your knees together, that might make the work more challenging because it decreases your base of support. But if you have an inch or two between your knees, that might widen your base of support and give you more stability as you progress the exercise. Inhale, contract the muscles in your pelvic floor. We'll roll up into our bridge. Continue your breath, and let's take another deep breath. Exhale and roll down. 8 repetitions on this side, 8 repetitions on the other side. Our next exercise is clamshell. I'm just going to roll over onto my side. I like to have my arm lengthened underneath me so that I can rest my ear on my arm, keeps my neck in a nice neutral long position. If you would feel more comfortable getting a pillow to help with adjustments, that's totally fine. Knees are bent, ankles are connected. I'm just going to have my top hand in front of my chest. That just gives me a little bit more stability on my hips. Keep your ankles together. Open your top knee towards the ceiling as much as you can, and then close your knees back down together. This is really great mobility for your hip. Go ahead and release your knees, come back down together. You might find as you're practicing the exercise that maybe your range of motion is limited. That's okay. Over time, you'll build your strength through your hip, and you'll get stronger, and you'll have more mobility. That's our goal. And release. So we might do 8 repetitions on this side, flip over onto your other hip, 8 repetitions on that side. Our next exercise is going to be a side bridge. I just want you to bring your elbow so that it's nice underneath your shoulder. Be careful that it's not out away from your shoulder. That does not give you good stability and could actually hurt you. Make sure that your elbow is right underneath your shoulder. Knees can stay right out in front, just like you had them before. Hand could be placed in front of your chest just to give you a little bit more stability. And this is a great place to begin. Contracting the muscles in your abdominal wall and your pelvic floor, holding for a few seconds, and relax. To build on to the exercise, we might lift our hips, hold for a few seconds, and then release to the floor. To increase the challenge, if you have your knees so that they're perhaps more in a neutral line with the rest of your spine, and lift and release. You'll find there's a little bit more work with that. Stretch out your legs. I like to cross my ankles so that I have my top foot in front of my bottom foot. Lift my hips, hold, and release. And again, you can progress that exercise having your hand on your hip. Lift, hold 3 to 5 seconds. If you can increase this to 8 to 10 seconds, that's excellent. And release. And again, as we do our final set together, really think about contracting the muscles in your pelvic floor, the abdominal wall. Take a nice, deep, long inhale. Keep the breath moving. Exhale and release. Whatever your level that you choose to do, 8 repetitions on this side, change sides, 8 repetitions on the other side. Our last exercise that we'll be doing is called bird dog. Come into tabletop position, open up your handprints, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees aligned underneath your hips. Your gaze should be out in front of you. If you're using a mat, perhaps look out in front of the mat. That'll just help keep your spine long and extended, nice neutral position. Contract the muscles in your pelvic floor, the abdominal wall. Hold for a few seconds. Make sure you continue breathing. Exhale and release. Progress the exercise by extending one arm out in front. Opposite leg extends towards the wall behind you. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds and then release. We'll just do the other side. Contract the muscles in your pelvic floor, the abdominal wall. Lengthen to the wall out in front of you, the wall behind you. Take a nice breath and release. My recommendation is that you would do that exercise, one set of 8 repetitions, holding for 3 to 5 seconds, progressing the length of the hold. Does that make sense for you? Thank you very much for joining me today. Be well.